Hi there, Thor owners. Today in your 2014 Thor Windsport, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install Lippert's Tread Lite single step. And our step's constructed of a rust-proof aluminum, so we don't have to worry about this breaking down and looking all grody in the future. It has a 300-pound weight capacity, so it should be more than enough for you and your family to go out in and out as many times as you want. This step also features a safety shutoff. During an extension or retraction cycle, if the motor senses a spike in current, the motor will shut off. So this means if the step encounters any obstructions, such as a rock or a tree, the step will stop. Then you can shut the door and retract the step, move to a location where there's no obstruction, and then be on your way. Here you can see our old step compared to our new step. The old step does have a bit of a deeper step here at the bottom, but the treaded portion is significantly smaller than the entirely treaded step that we have on our new step here. So no matter where you step, you can be sure that you're going to get good traction and get in and out without having any slips. I like that the traction on the new step also extends all the way down the side, because sometimes when you're getting out, you kind of hit like this, and on this step here you could easily slip right off, but the grip tape on here is pretty solid. Another thing you'll notice is that our old step here has a crusty old amber incandescent light on the bottom that really didn't put off a whole lot of light, versus the bright white LEDs that are found on our new step. And I also like that the new step has the LEDs pointing out towards the step, so the light's directed in the best application for getting in and out, and that they are LEDs, which last typically about 50 times longer than an incandescent bulb. So you really don't ever have to worry about getting down here and making any repairs and swapping out the bulbs. Another thing that I like is that our new step has the exact same connector on it as our old step, so replacing it was a breeze. We simply dropped this one down, put the new one up, and then just plugged our connectors in and hooked the ground wire back up. Now, if you aren't replacing a step and you're just adding a new one or changing from a manual one to an electric one, you do also receive the other side of the connector with your step, so you can easily wire this into your RV, and you'll always have this connector down there to quickly plug in. In addition to the pigtail that you'll need for the other side of your wiring, you do also receive a new switch for the door. Now that we've gone over some of the features, let's go over the installation together so you can have the confidence to do it at home. We're going to begin our installation here at our steps. We'll be opening the door to extend them out. You might also notice that we have it lifted up in the air. Now we're doing this for camera purposes, so you can easily see what we're doing, but you could easily do this on the ground at home. Now that we've got our steps extended, we can access the hardware more easily. If your motor is damaged, you can try to manually extend the steps to make it easier to get to the hardware. If not, you can do it with a ratchet. It's just going to be a little bit tighter. Now that we've got all of our hardware loose, we can go back to the ones we threaded on by hand and just carefully take those off one at a time, holding your step up. Once all the hardware is loose, we'll just drop it down and then set it aside. We'll go ahead and secure the ground as well. And again, we have a purple wire here that is for that porch light circuit. If you wanted to hook that up, you could tie it into your porch light circuit to turn the light on. But ours didn't originally have it, so we're just going to tuck it back and snug up the zip tie. To extend your step out now, we can just go back and open our door again, and that'll extend our step so we can get to our hardware underneath. We'll then just push our steps back up so they're on the studs, and then we'll reinstall the factory hardware. If you're having difficulties getting the hardware installed, try shifting your step around a little bit. If it's not all the way flush against the bottom, things may not line up very well, making it difficult to get things installed. Now that we've got the outside ones started, we can head back to our inside ones here, and we're going to put those washers back on. Now we got everything started with all the washers back on. We're going to tighten up the back ones first. And then we'll come up and tighten down the front ones. We're now ready to drop it back down and test it out. If you're having some issues, sometimes you need to turn the key on to get the system to operate. We're going to get it back down on the ground, and then we're going to show it working. So when we go to check the operation of our steps, what we noticed is that they're working backwards from how they did before. Everything's functional, it's just operating backwards. And this is typically due to the switch on your door. Since we're still using the original switch, it's likely opposite of what the steps are designed to work with, so we're going to wire in the new switch. If yours is working properly, you can consider your installation complete, but if it's backwards, you can follow along, and we're going to replace the old switch with the new one. So we've got our factory switch right here. We're just going to wire in our new switch right below it, and we're going to test it out, and then if everything works, then we can take this one off, but I'm going to leave it stuck in place until we verify that our new one's working. I've gone ahead and just pulled the wires up. In most cases, these are pretty loose, and you can just pull them right up. If not, you may need to find them down below. So we're just going to go ahead and cut the wires. I'm going to leave myself enough excess here to where I can, because all this wire is just going to poke back behind this paneling here. So we're going to cut them. Now when you cut these wires, the step may or may not activate, so make sure that you stay clear of the step. We can now strip each one of these wires back. Since these wires are already connected and our old step worked, we know that these are working. One just goes to ground and the other one goes to our switch assembly down below for our motor. So we know they're already wired up. And it doesn't matter to the switch which one goes to which wire on the switch. So once you've got them both stripped back, now we're just going to take our wires and we're just going to butt connect them onto our new switch. The new switch has the wires already pre-stripped. If you need some butt connectors, we've got plenty available here at eTrailer.com. There we go. And again, it doesn't matter on the other side of our switch here which one it goes to. And we're just going to butt connect it to the other wire now. Before we hook up our last wire here, you do want to make sure you're clear of the step, as it may activate, which it did there. So you can see here that our step is now out. This is the other portion of the switch that comes in your kit that's going to install on the door. So this piece will be in this position. We're going to be putting it lower, but that way when the door shuts, we're going to simulate that here. It's near the switch, causing the steps to close, and then our door opens, causing it to open. So we're just going to take the double-sided adhesive here, and we're going to get it stuck in place on both the motorhome and the door. I recommend doing the motorhome side first, then you can shut the door, see where it lines up, and stick it on. Another way you could do it is you could just leave your old switch in place and not remove it, and you could just install your new switch right on top of it, and then on your door side, you can put that one right on top of the other one, because you know that these are already lined up. We can now peel off the adhesive backing. I've already cleaned the area where we're going to put the switch with some alcohol to ensure that it's going to have good adhesion. And then we're just going to press it into place. Our wiring here just tucks behind this panel, so we'll poke that in after we have verified our proper operation of our step. We're then going to head over to the door and we're going to stick on this side. Now we'll just go ahead and shut our door and verify if it's working properly. So I'm just going to get this wiring tucked back in place to clean everything up. And if you want, you can remove your old sensors now since they're no longer active. And that completes our installation of Lippert's Tread Lite single step on our 2014 Thor Windsport.